People are going to be curious about the campfire and where is it? And to be clear, the campfire is not the only fire that has visited itself upon your area. You've had the devastating Park Fire, I think a year or two ago, and then we also had the Dixie Fire, which sort of started in this same place as the campfire. But for many people, including us, like we thought we were the belle, belle of the ball nobody wants to go to. With losing 8,900 structures across 4 counties. But then the campfire happened, and all of a sudden we're at 18,000 across the campfire, plus 85 people perished. You grew up in Paradise, and then you made this sort of remarkable decision to do what a lot of people would not have done, which is to go live in a trailer and build. Can you talk about what you've learned during this time, which is a lot, I'm sure, but also like I like the fact that we're having innovation also originating in Paradise, a place that, well, why don't you describe Paradise before the fires, Paradise when you got there, and Paradise today?
Yeah, that's it's very hard for people to understand the magnitude. Um, it's extremely hard. Paradise was essentially a massive forest with homes plopped in it. That's the best way to describe it. Beautiful. Uh, but
And up on a
millions of
ridge.
trees. We're up on a ridge. We're 6 miles wide. And on one side of our ridge, we have what's called Jarbo Gap winds. And on top of that, we are a Mediterranean climate. We get a large amount of rain in the winter months and moisture and heavy growth and dry in the summer. So we're all the things that fire loves. We are a fire prone climate. It is needed and necessary actually for a lot of regenerative reasons for our plants. So we live in this space high fire hazard. We have to choose how to take the risk. So paradise, heavy forest. Um, it's really hard. I think one of the best ways I tell people is after the campfire, nobody knew what to do. There was an army of people that wanted to help, and some people said to just like paradise won't exist ever again, like it's lost. You can even Google paradise, and it's like, does Paradise, California still exist?
Mhm.
And there's enough people that really wanted it to still exist and push hard for change. It was a disaster zone. There were 20,000 burnt down cars in the streets of Paradise. People you couldn't even get down the street. So it took one person saying, well, we'll start by removing that one car. And they pulled one car out of the street and then they continued. And that was kind of the first step in our recovery is the removal of all these cars. There was a significant loss of life, which we never want to just roll by that.
Right.
And it was an mostly elderly population who could not get out or didn't have help. Um, and then on top of that, a significant amount of animal loss, pets, people had left for work and could not get back home, pets, wildlife, really just a huge loss of life beyond, and then you have the homes and all the things. It's just, you're not just losing a home, you lost the community as a whole. You lost, where do you go if you are, have a big loss? If you lost your home in a fire, you go to your aunt and uncles, your parents, your friend, your cousin, but they had also lost their home. So there was nowhere for anyone to go. Pre-paradise, beautiful, quiet retirement community, massive devastation that no one had ever seen. And then you come, now, and it's still the essence of paradise in every way, but we're trying to reinvent ourselves into being a safer, more resilient community. And we've also recognized what we were missing this whole time was our incredible canyon views. So we lost all these trees and then just opened up these extraordinary views, which I think we were always supposed to have. So it's finding the beauty in, the devastation. I could see the opportunity. As much as I wanted to help, I could see the opportunity of the community as a whole for myself, for my children, a different place to live. So where the heart is still the same, we cannot do it the same as we did before. We'll land in the same position.
And you've had a major population shift with most people use Paradise as a comp for the LA fires, which makes me insane. But can you briefly speak to the demographic shift, changes in the schools, those sorts of things?
Yes, we were primarily an elderly community, a bedroom community. We're in a beautiful setting. A lot of people from the Bay and Sacramento saw this as a great place to retire, and it was and is that. And after the fire, it's really shifted into a younger population. We went from 27,000 people to around 2 to 3,000 after the fire. We lost 90%. And now we're the fastest growing town in the state of California for over 3 years. We're at about 12,000. And it is definitely a younger community. We were primarily Caucasian, but we've opened the door to be able to allow all different. We have a lot of a high Hispanic population, Asian. Just it's a new opportunity, a chance to bring in different cultures and diversity and things that, diversity can come in all forms from ages to race, all the things. And we're able to bring that now. And it really is an enriching part of our community to see this shift.
It's been actually, I mean, I didn't know. I was only 13 months in. I didn't know much, at all. And I'm always having to learn as I go the entire time from all the people that I come in contact with. But I don't think I ever thought that Paradise wouldn't come back. But really, there's so many things to be proud of in the way that you are building a town. And it's so nice that last time I was there, like a year ago, like I could see so much more, like I could see actual neighborhoods forming, and it wasn't just the one house, one house, one house. And that was really heartwarming. And I'd like people to also understand that, units of housing is not the measure of success. Units of housing is, it depends on what the community wants, and you can only serve the community in front of you. And it's really important that we respect what was there before and then with the direction the community wants to go in. And so you're also doing things like a major infrastructure project that will move the town. The entire town is on septic that will move you off of septic and into a sewer system, which you've not had before. And it's a really big deal for growth and for sustainability at the same time. So I'm excited for you. So Valerie, would you mind talking about, I know we talk about this a lot internally, but when people want to layer Paradise and LA together, can you talk about why that's not a comp or why fires in general? It's hard to comp them, but you've just seen all of them.
Yeah, and it really just boils down to the community in general, right? Paradise is a rural area. They have different challenges. You have to think of, labor coming in from other areas, materials, all of that. LA is it's a port county. It has resources there, but also they have many more resources. I'm just going to say it that way. There are a lot more resources in LA than Paradise had. And while the Community Foundation and all those partners did tremendous work raising funds, and they were incredibly talented in leveraging the federal and state dollars to help them recover. It looks very different. 90% of the town was destroyed, not just the homes, the town. So there was no infrastructure. It looks more like the Dixie Fire, right? You have to think in those terms. It is devastating. And while when you drive through Altadena or Pacific Palisades, there's a lot of business missing. 15 minutes away, there is still Pasadena, there is Santa Monica. And so it looks very different, but also the challenges there are different because these homes the topography is actually a little similar. I'll say that's one of the few things that carries, right? It's just a perk of California. We have incredible views, nice slopes, and then those are creative challenges for foundation work, for flooding, and also for wildfires. They just increase your risk. And those outside of those pieces, they're apples and pineapples. And Paradise really is that apple of they're making incredible work out of what they've got. And LA is this big juicy pineapple with all these resources. And I mean, it's incredible working in that space because you've got financial institutions and mortgage companies and all of these players saying, we're going to create stacks of equity for you to use. And that doesn't happen anywhere except I would say Colorado with the Marshall Fire, right? That's one of the few places where I've seen government additional resources come in and layer over people to help people who have some, right? Those have somes who had insurance actually get home. Yeah. Because a lot of times, I mean, Jen, I don't remember how many hundred I know it was more than 100 volunteer rebuilt homes. And certainly there will be a number of those in Altadena area for the Eaton Fire. But there are so many more people who have insurance because a lot of our folks in Paradise did not have insurance. They were retired. They own those homes outright. And especially when you're trying to layer over what's going on with the LA fires and saying camp is the marker, that is night and day difference. The preponderance of insurance is going to be what gets more people home.